What do you get when you put 80 volts into a blower? We're about to find out. What's up guys, my name's Tyler. Welcome to another edition of the Lawn Review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. If you're not and you want to learn a little bit more about lawn care, plant care, and the right tools for the job, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today we've got the KOBALT 80 volt cordless electric leaf blower. I was really pumped to get my hands on this. Feel like KOBALT may not get the respect that it deserves. It's honestly a pretty strong player in this market. So let's put it to the TLR test and see how it stands up. All right guys, just a quick sneak peek. I just finished filming the battery runtime test on this KOBALT 80 volt blower. It absolutely smashed the battery test in comparison to what KOBALT says that this battery can run. They claim 75 minutes. You're gonna wanna stick around because the results, I'm still speechless. So today we're going to talk about some of my favorite attributes about this blower, what I think KOBALT did really well with this, and we're going to put to test some of the claims that they make about, specifically about battery runtime, battery charge time. We're also going to talk about some of the things that KOBALT may have missed the mark on when they put this guy out. So make sure you stick around, we'll check it out. All right guys, so before we get into any battery runtime or charge testing or talk about some of the maybe misses that KOBALT had with this, let's talk about what they did really well, because there's a reason why this is one of the best selling blowers at Lowe's. They obviously did a few things right. I think mainly what I really like about this blower is the user experience. It is very well balanced when you have the battery in. It kind of has like this forward tilt, very natural to hold. It's also pretty light. It's about 9 pounds. Really easy to handle on a big job. So very intuitive controls. As you can see, the turbo button's right there. All you have to do is click it and pull the trigger down. But then the cruise control as well is just a twist of this little knob. So as you want to increase, you can tell by the dots on here, they get bigger. So you want to push it down so that this little arrow is pointing, at the highest setting. But it's also really great, and especially for my wife, because she's left-handed, whereas I am right-handed. So this is really great for me on this side over here. But for her, she doesn't have to get all wonky with the way that she holds it to turn the cruise control on. So I think that's a really, really cool part of this blower. Also, this is KOBALT's most powerful blower at 630 CFMs. That's gonna be on the higher end of most cordless electric leaf blowers. 630 CFMs, again, cubic feet per minute, how much air is blowing through this blower. It's only 140 miles per hour, which is not exactly world beating anymore, but for 140 miles per hour, as you can see in some of the videos, more than enough speed to get the job done. But really, that cubic feet per minute is pretty impressive. One of my favorite things about this blower is actually not how much air is coming out, but with this variable speed trigger, I am really able to control how much air is coming out, and you can get it really, really soft. So it's just a little bit of air leaving this blower, which you don't get with gas. Once it's on, there's a constant flow of air. But then also some of the other models that we've tried, or brands, they lose a little bit on that soft function. So this one is really soft. And as you can see, I've started to do a little bit more landscaping back here. I do a lot of work mulching, and the last thing I want to do is just have a heavy finger on this and just blow out, all my mulch. So I really appreciate that about this blower. Not how powerful it is, but how soft you can make it. But more in line with the user experience as well is a rubber grip that's really comfortable. If you're going to be blowing leaves or a lot of grass in the fall, some of those bigger jobs that you're going to be holding this for a while, super comfortable in terms of how you hold this. And again, it's got that forward tilt, so it's natural. You're not gonna have to keep pulling your arm up, which is great. As you can see, this is also a brushless motor, which is the big trend in electric space anyway. But the difference between brushless and brushed motors is a brushed motor relies on friction to create electricity to power this, the motor, whereas a brushless relies on magnets that flip when the internal components start to turn inside the motor. That's a very basic level description of what that means. But so basically, brushed relies on friction, whereas brushless, there is no friction. So that's going to increase the longevity of the motor, how long it's going to last for. It also is going to increase the performance because a brushless motor is not relying on friction. There is no friction within the internal components. I mean, there's some, but not as much. So you're not having to, so the engine's not having to fight as hard to turn and push out air. So you're going to get a higher level of performance with a brushless engine motor. And the price, I think this is really reasonably priced for the Tool battery charger combo. This is 250 bucks from Lowe's. Very affordable on the electric blower space. As you can see, some of the newer models that are coming out are getting more and more expensive, but Kobalt has stayed pretty affordable. All right, guys, so if you've been following the gas versus electric saga or battle over the past few years, it's really started to heat up. But one of the main pitfalls in the electric space, specifically the cordless electric space, is battery life or runtime. How long you can expect to be able to operate the piece of machinery before it dies, the battery dies, and you need to either change out the battery or recharge it. I'm gonna put this KOBALT blower to the test and really give you a true realistic expectation of how long you can use this tool. All right, so guys, the first test we're gonna do is the turbo test. I'm gonna hold down the turbo button and basically run this battery until it's completely dead. If you're accustomed to gas or you've used gas in the past, this is gonna be a particularly important test for you because it's gonna be the most like for like in terms of power. So you're really gonna know how long you get gas-like power with the KOBALT brushless blower. So guys, just a hair under 10 minutes on full turbo. Just keep that in mind when you're using this, that if you want to use it on full turbo, it's going to last you about 10 minutes. Typically, as I've used this, I found that the turbo button is not completely necessary unless I'm moving a big pile of leaves or a big pile of grass. Usually, you can get the job done with just holding the trigger down all the way. Guys, I got another fully charged battery. I'm gonna test this on the highest speed on the cruise control setting. That's gonna also be the highest speed that this blower will run on the variable speed trigger when you pull the trigger all the way down. So that's really gonna be a good test because that's what most of us are gonna be using. Again, like I said, I didn't find the turbo feature to be completely necessary all the time. This is the one that I'm gonna use the most. Guys, a brief intermission on this test. Actually, while I was running this, I all of a sudden heard this like screaming little baby bird next to me. I guess it had fallen down from the nest. Had to pick it up and try and do my best to get it put back up in there. I don't know if it can get out of the plate. Mama bird didn't seem to mind though. All good. All right, guys, so that bit the dust at about 18.5 minutes. That's how long you can expect this KOBALT battery to run, or blower to run, if you're holding the trigger down constantly, 18.5 minutes. Now, on the typical job, you're probably not gonna be holding it down full throttle the entire time, so this is a little bit of a stress test. And actually, when I went to recharge right after this test was over, it showed a little bit overheated, so I had to wait about 15 minutes to get that charging up again. All right, guys, now that the battery is fully charged again and it's cooled down a little bit, I'm going to run this on low speed cruise control, or it's gonna be the equivalent of barely pressing down on the variable speed throttle. This is gonna be a long test, so I don't know if I'm gonna do the time lapse, but I'll set up a timer and let you know how long it lasts. Still rocking and rolling at 48 minutes. All right, just eclipsed the hour mark and we're still rolling. Online, it's actually advertised to only run 70 minutes on its lowest setting. Looks like it's passing that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I mean, air is still coming out of here. No clue what's going on.
Yeah, this is just getting stupid.
KOBALT advertised this blower as being able to run 75 minutes on lowest setting. This is on its lowest setting, and that's 150 minutes. So, yeah. Guys, it finally died at almost 3 hours. KOBALT was so wildly inaccurate with the runtime of this battery. I mean, that would be like an auto manufacturer saying that they get like 10 miles to the gallon, but they actually get like 30. I'm actually speechless how wrong they were. All right, guys, let's put this battery charge time to the test. Let's see exactly how long it takes to charge a completely dead 2.5 amp hour battery.
Ended up taking about 120 minutes for this guy to fully charge.
All right, so some of the areas where KOBALT may have missed the mark a bit on this blower is the air intake was a problem for me when I was testing this out. I was sucking in my shirt a whole bunch in this back area. And if I had a string or anything like that on here, it would be sucked up in that little turbine and potentially really damage the internal working. So when you're using this, make sure you keep that in mind. I wouldn't wear a whole lot of loose fitting shirts, like tuck it in if you need to, or just wear something a little tighter fitting. Also, the inability to change nozzle tips is kind of a little frustrating on my end. Most of the other models that we've seen give you a little clip on the end of here, or there's a place for a different type of nozzle tip to slide on top of here. I didn't see that functionality with KOBALT. So there's no way to control the way that the air is coming out of the blower. It's going to come out like that. Whereas some of the other ones are a little bit fanned, or the nozzle tip, comes in, which increases the miles per hour, but decreases CFMs. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Guys, thanks so much for checking out this week's video. Again, pretty impressed with this blower. It's 630 CFMs, 140 miles per hour. Definitely more than enough to get the job done. But it's also priced pretty well at 250 bucks on Lowe's.com. We'll put the link below. You can buy it there. So I really like the way that this is priced. This is not going to be like the greatest blower you've ever used, but it's pretty good. It'll get the job done. And again, if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. We're learning a lot from you guys. You guys are giving us invaluable feedback in the comments. We're learning things that we may have missed on that, oh, we should have talked about that, or we'll cover that next time. So thanks so much. If there's anything we missed on this video, don't hesitate to throw it in the comment section. We love the feedback. But if you're not subscribed and you want to learn a little bit more about lawn care, plant care, and the right tools for the job, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're putting out a couple videos a week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any. But also make sure you're checking out thelawnreview.com. You're going to find an in-depth, detailed analysis of this blower. Goes into a little bit more technical detail than what we covered in this video. So check us out there as well, thelawnreview.com. We got hundreds of product reviews on there. Also check us out on our various social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, we're on it there as well. Until next time, keep cutting. We'll see y'all again.